Believe it or not, it's time to start thinking about the holidays, so let's get going. Christmas in October? Why start planning now? Well, actually, for a lot of you, you probably have already started your planning, and if you haven't, then it's a good thing you're watching this webinar right now. So you think you have time, but Christmas is just about 8 weeks away. Kind of scary when you think about it. My mother always used to tell me that once Halloween comes, Thanksgiving and Christmas will arrive around the corner, and it seems so true. It seems like the clock gets pushed up between Halloween, Thanksgiving, and especially between Thanksgiving and Christmas. So it's good to start planning as early as possible for the holidays. So just to remind you, mark the calendar. Halloween is just 6 days away. Thanksgiving is less than a month away. Hanukkah starts 48 days from now, just under 7 weeks. And Christmas, 61 days away. Pretty amazing. We will start the new year, believe it or not, in just 68 days, which is going to come very quickly. So time to start thinking about things. So who is planning a holiday B&B getaway? Let's take a look at that. BedandBreakfast.com's winter traveler survey is really helpful. And it tells us that 24% of people are planning a holiday getaway. Think about it. That is 1 in every 4 travelers will be taking some kind of a holiday getaway this year. Why do they want to stay at a B&B? Well, over half of them are looking for a romantic escape for the holidays. That's probably not that much of a surprise to you, not to me either. 14% are saying that there's not enough room at a relative or a friend's home, so they want to stay at a B&B. 22%, that's 1 in every 5, want to get away from the holiday hustle bustle. Just get away and cocoon in a B&B. And almost 13% say they prefer to have a place where they can get away from their family and their relatives. B&Bs are perfect for that. So what do they hope to do? Well, nearly 8 in every 10 traveler wants to just go and sit by a fire. They want to build gingerbread houses, they want to go ice skating, they want to go sledding, and they want to drink hot chocolate. All according to BedandBreakfast.com's most recent winter traveler survey. So knowing that and understanding that, which is important for us to understand, what are some ideas for holiday promotions if you haven't got any yet or if you haven't started? We're going to go over 35 great ideas for holiday promotions coming up. First of all, when you think of holidays, you think of cooking. Pretty much everybody is going to be cooking over Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. So let's talk about developing some cooking packages. But if you're going to do a cooking school or cooking package, it's really helpful to take it further with an additional theme or to focus on a special interest or niche market. So here are some ideas for kind of specialized cooking schools or cooking workshops. Thanksgiving for vegans and vegetarians. Vegans and vegetarians, as you all know, are an increasing in large numbers, and chances are anyone is going to have somebody around the table who has that preference, if not more than one person. So to create a package around just ideas for vegans and vegetarians is helpful. And it might be something called Squash the Squash and Other Holiday Sides, or Root Vegetables Rule. All of these kinds of cooking packages are geared toward vegans and vegetarians. And remember, if you do not feel that you can do the cooking school, find a chef, find a vegetarian chef, or even a novice friend who's really great at vegetarian cooking. Invite them into your kitchen and invite guests to experience some of their recipes. And if they don't have a kitchen that's big enough for your cooking school, then do a demonstration and a tasting. Do it right in your dining room. You know you have enough room in your dining room for your guests. Other ideas for cooking school packages might be a mother-daughter, father-son holiday cooking class, or a cookie decorating class. Gorgeous desserts for your New Year's reception. Cooking for a crowd over the holidays. You know that as innkeepers, you are experts on cooking for a crowd. How about creating a workshop about cooking for a crowd on Christmas morning, or and do something that is geared just around breakfast ideas. You as innkeepers are definite experts on cooking for a crowd at breakfast. International Thanksgiving dinner ideas, maybe that's another cooking school. Or edible gifts. I always love those magazine articles that are about edible gifts. I love creating them, but I have zero creativity, zero. And chances are there are other people out there too. So I would love to go to a B&B, take a class in, creating those gifts in a jar or other edible gifts, and actually be able to do it right there and take some home with me. To me, that would be the most fabulous Christmas package, and I bet you, or holiday package getaway, and I bet you others would find that to be true too. You're also decorating experts, so share your knowledge and your designs. Again, my lack of creativity, I'm a word person. I have zero styling sense, interior design, decorating sense. And I would love to learn from experts like innkeepers. So perhaps some ideas for decorating might be innkeeper for a day and invite guests to help you decorate the inn. I'm going to tell you a quick story about the Admiral Perry Inn in Freiburg, Maine. Their innkeeper, Donna Pierce, participates every year in an Indian cookie tour. And one year, some of the guests that were on the cookie tour came and thought, oh, we would love to come to this inn and decorate it for the next cookie tour. So lo and behold, the next year she invites them to come back. They create the most gorgeous decorations throughout her entire inn. Every wreath had a different, every door had a different wreath. Every room had a themed holiday tree. The decorations were absolutely gorgeous. Really, really stepped up from the year before. And it was a total win-win because Donna was thrilled that somebody came and decorated her inn. The guests were thrilled because they got the chance to do that. And the overall benefit is this gorgeously decorated inn in the end. So people do want to be innkeepers for a day and help you decorate the inn. Perhaps another decorating idea might be a wreath making workshop, or here's one for all of those who are city dwellers, travelers who live in a city. They love to go and walk in the woods, collect greens, holly, winterberries, whatever you can find in the woods, but they don't have the chance. So if you're a B&B or an inn that's located in a wooded setting, invite your guests to come for a weekend and go home with the greens, the winterberries, and all of that beautiful things that they need to decorate their own home, and combine that perhaps with a wreath-making workshop so they could go out, they get to experience the woods, they come back, they learn how to make the wreath, they take everything that they need home with them, and you've got this fabulous experience. The same thing with a cut a tree package. If you have a tree farm near you where people can come to the inn for a weekend and go home with a hand-cut tree, that's something that a lot of people who live in cities just simply can't do, but it's a wonderful experience. You could invite couples to come and make ornaments with you, set up a table for decorating ornaments or Thanksgiving centerpieces. If you see this picture right here, this is innkeeper Ken Barnes. He's the former owner of the Captain Lindsay House in Rockland, Maine. And every year he did the most fabulous package. He would actually create an experience where people could come to his inn and learn how to wrap these gorgeous packages that he was famous for. He would give these packages to people in his family, and they would be so gorgeous his family members didn't want to even open them. And he would spend the entire year pulling together buttons and ribbons and knickknacks and magazine articles and little trinkets that he would put on those packages. And he would have every year for one weekend, he would host a package at the Captain Lindsay House where guests could come and learn from him, the expert, how to wrap their packages. And he would even share some of his trinkets with them so that they could go home with this knowledge of how to create these gorgeous packages and a few different items to do it with. Lovely. It was a great popular package and a great way to get people there on the slower December weekends. So also, as you know, holidays are all about shopping. So how can you put together shopping with stay at your inn? Well, team up with local malls to offer coupons. A lot of inns and B&Bs do this. They simply combine a stay at the inn with coupons and a gift bag from local malls. They tie in with shopping events. If you've got any kind of shopping events in your area, certainly Black Friday is a shopping event that happens everywhere. Or put together a girlfriend's getaway that might include shopping coupons, drinks, gift wrapping, and a little bubbly by the fire. Or create a shopping guide, a guide to the treasures in your community that people don't know about, but you know about because you've been shopping there for 25 years. If you love to shop like I do, I'm a bargain hunter from way back, and I get a thrill out of finding great gifts. So perhaps if you're like me or you know somebody like me, you could offer to be a personal shopper, and that would definitely get people to come and stay with you if they thought that somebody could help them find the perfect gift. And by all means, set up a gift wrapping station complete with wrapping paper, tape, ribbons, and perhaps a little wine and cheese next to the fire. And people are going to be so happy that they can come to your inn, shop, find the perfect gift, go home with everything wrapped, and not have to think about it for the rest of the holidays. Because I'm somebody who works in public relations, I see a lot of requests from reporters, and one of the most often requested topic are over the top packages, package ideas that are like beyond amazing. So I always tell innkeepers, maybe you may have, although it's a smaller group, you may have somebody who really wants to go overboard with their packages. And so you could put together the romantic Thanksgiving package with fireside 5-course dining, sleigh rides, cider tastings, holiday movies, coupons, Black Friday shopping bags, VIP seats for the holiday parade, and a bottle of Rolaids to help you full down from all of the eating that you'll be doing. Add a little whimsy at the end, and everybody will love it. Or if you're a family-oriented B&B, perhaps do a Take the Family Away package, which includes tickets to local holiday events, gingerbread house making, cookie decorating, elf tuck-ins, personalized tree to decorate with lights and ornaments, for which they do while they're there, and a collection of St. Nick's flicks to watch, and of course a professional photo shoot. These kinds of things do not have to be priced at bargain prices. If you're going to add a lot into your holiday package and create something really over the top, people will pay the price that it takes, and it's going to be expensive, but you shouldn't discount it. You should cover your expenses for any of these over the top packages. Remember, the one thing that people want to do is spend plenty of time sitting by the fire, so don't forget that. Add on to all of your holiday packages, make sure there's plenty of items that can be used when you're sitting by the fire: a bottle of bubbly, a s'mores kit, a holiday music DVD, DVD, not C, small personal tree for rooms with fireplaces, and perhaps a movie that they can watch together. Okay. So let's talk about the timeline for creating these packages, and this definitely varies by the kind of package it is, because if you've got a package that fills up a year in advance, then you've got to have that package created a year in advance. But for other seasonal or less lead time packages, then this is the kind of timeline you might use. By 8 weeks out, you need to have planned all the components of the packages. By 7 weeks out, you need to make sure that you've arranged all those partners that you're going to need to work within the package and to have written a description of the package. Next, you need to post that package on your website and in your reservation software too, so that people can book that package online if your reservation software allows you to do that. You need to promote packages to your newsletter list at least 5 weeks in advance, and also to the media. Don't forget to remind neighbors and local businesses that your B&B can provide housing for their guests when room is tight. I hear often from innkeepers that that's who stays with them over Christmas, Thanksgiving, and over the holidays. It's family members where there's not room for them at the at the home of their relatives, so they stay at the inn or B&B that's nearby. So you need to remind your neighbors that you're there and that you'd be happy to house their overflow. You want to promote your packages and your holiday events on social media every week. Don't forget to do, create an event for it and promote it regularly. If you have a small newspaper that you often use, you're going to want to create ads and remind again your local community that you can provide overflow housing. And then, of course, continue all the way up until right before that package to promote it through all of your promotional vehicles, your website, your social media, and so on. So let's talk a little bit about holiday events and holiday events that you can do at your inn or B&B. Community parades, tree lightings, and Santa arrivals. There are a lot of communities that don't offer these, although it seems like almost every community might have some kind of a holiday event. They don't always. So to be able to take part in a small town gathering, or even the lighting of Rockefeller Center, if you're in Airbnb near New York City, or invite your guests to take part in those local events that are happening in your community. And believe it or not, there'll be people who will really want to do that. You can also take part in inn-to-inn holiday tours and inn-to-inn events. Some of these inn-to-inn events might be touring inns, decorations, and enjoying refreshments. A lot of inns and inn associations throughout the country offer like just a holiday tour where people come, they might have a little refreshment, and they get to see the inn's decorations. Perhaps another inn-to-inn tour would be where they would shop with local crafters or nonprofits at each inn. So you go inn to inn, and there might be a different crafter there, one making soap or selling their soaps, another selling artwork, another one selling jams or specialty foods. And so you could go from inn to inn, being able to just shop your way through and seeing the beautiful decorations at each one of the inns. I work with a group of inns that do a holiday cookie and candy tour, and it's very, very popular. Every year, more than 400 people go through their inns and enjoy cookies and pick up recipes. That's another option. Or perhaps you could go inn to inn and create a simple ornament at each inn. So if you're part of an association, any of these inn-to-inn tour ideas might work. How about a progressive dinner, enjoying a different course at each inn? You might have 4 inns that are working together that are near each one another, and you'd have cocktails at one, or wine and cheese at one, and then first course at the next, second course at the next, third course at the next, and dessert at the last inn. Or if you're in a winter location or one that has sleighs on wheels, you could do a sleigh ride from inn to inn. There's a group of inns in Jackson, New Hampshire that do a Jingle Bell chocolate tour every year, and they go inn to inn and pick up a chocolate treat at each one of those inns. And when the sleigh is not, if there's not snow, then the sleigh is on wheels. So, and it is incredibly popular. It sells out weekend after weekend. The inns in Kennebunkport, Maine do a candlelight tour, and they actually turn off the lights and just tour people through their inn by candlelight, or they have the lights in the windows, those candle lights in the windows that are beautiful, and again, sells out every year. Or perhaps you could do a holiday dinner with inns and restaurants teaming up. I know the inns in Napa Valley in the past have always done this beautiful kind of wine tasting event during the holidays where they team up, where the innkeepers team up with a different restaurant at each inn. Fabulous event that raises money for the local community. Another idea during the holidays is certainly community outreach. It's a popular theme, something that we hear about all the time during the holidays, and it helps to boost visibility for your inn. So perhaps you could serve as the Toys for Tots or the Coats for Kids drop-off place in your community and be the place which collects those things. So people come and they get to know you a little bit better and get to see the inn. Or would you create a breakfast basket for needy families? After all, breakfast is half your name, B&B, so why not create some breakfast baskets that you could give away to a needy family? Certainly, you can invite active military families missing their spouse to spend Thanksgiving, Christmas, or Hanukkah at your inn. It's a wonderful way to be able to reach out and help somebody during the holidays. And by all means, on Veterans Day, we hope all of you are participating in the B&Bs for Vets program, because that is incredibly popular, and the more inns that participate in that, the better, and the better visibility you'll get. So be sure, whatever you do, be sure if you're doing any of these community outreach things or any of these events or packages, don't forget to tell the media so they can help you spread the word. They're always interested in wonderful feel-good packages or story ideas. Okay, let's look at a couple examples of holiday promotions that other innkeepers are doing, just to give you some good ideas. The Gateways Inn does a community Hanukkah celebration. Iran, the innkeeper at Iran, and Michelle, the innkeepers at the Gateways Inn, told me that every year they host a community-wide menorah lighting ceremony conducted by the local rabbi, and they install a huge 8-foot menorah on their front lawn, and they get about 100 people who come, and they offer traditional Hanukkah treats and potato latkes with applesauce, and there's always a lot of singing and dancing. So this is not so much a religious event, but more a joyful happening, kid-friendly, and it's been going on for many, many years, and it allows them to be to do something for the community. And it's different, because I asked a large group of innkeepers about Hanukkah celebrations, and do you know, out of probably 15 that I asked, only one only the Gateways Inn did some kind of a Hanukkah celebration. So this is a nice idea, I thought. Rabbit Hill Inn, every year they sell out on New Year's Eve with a huge holiday party. Every year it's a different theme. The Blair House in Wimberley, Texas offers a worry-free Thanksgiving package. Remember that a lot of people during the holidays are trying to escape the family politics and the hustle and bustle of the holidays. So putting together something that takes away all that worry, the muss and fuss of preparing dinner, is a really nice package, and one that can be very popular. I love this from the Welsh Hills Inn. They have a Find the Pickle Challenge, where guests have 5 minutes to find the pickle ornament on the tree, and those who do get their own hand-blown pickle ornament. Now, I think there's some kind of a tradition to pickles on the tree. I think it's a Victorian holiday tradition. And this is a great way to get people to come and see your tree and stay with you with the thought that they'll be able to go home with their own pickle ornament. I just loved this idea. The Thorpe House Inn and the White Gull Inn in Fish Creek, they do what's called a movable feast. And they have many weekend packages culminating in a Saturday evening, which is a 5-course dinner complete with wine and live music. And you tour the inns, where you start with the first one serving up, I think, the first course and the appetizers and so on, and then you go to the second inn for the main course and dessert. A 2-night minimum is required, and believe me, they don't even have enough holiday weekends for this package, because people love to be able to do these 2-in, 3-in, 5-in, 10-in experiences, see the decorations, enjoy kind of a different way to dine. And as you can see from this example, you only need 2 inns working together to create a special movable feast or a dinner package. You don't need to be a part of a large association. It can be 3 inns who are located within walking distance of each other, for example. The Lime Rock Inn has a fabulous, fabulous collection of nutcrackers. Not only do their guests love to come and bring them the nutcrackers every year and see them every year, but the media has really picked up on this. Just yesterday or the day before, I saw that the Lime Rock Inn was listed in Yankee Magazine's top 5 Christmas or holiday B&B story. Their nutcrackers have earned them fame and put heads in beds. The Grafton Inn in Vermont does a giving tree. They have a community giving tree, so you go and you find, you take one of the pieces of paper off their tree, and you can provide a gift for a needy family. Lovely idea, and those trees, that tree is empty within the first weekend of them putting it up. Amazing how much community giving and spirit is there in Grafton, Vermont. So let's talk quickly about your Prepare for the Holidays checklist. And you can go back and write these things down because this is being recorded, and you'll have access to this webinar to go back and look at these timelines and these checklists again. But first, you want to create your package, your promotion, your events. You want to make sure you've recruited all the partners you need. You need to be sure there's a compelling description and creative visuals, some good photography to help promote your event, your package, or your community celebration. You want to make sure to add your promotion to your website, inform the media, include your holiday promotion in all your newsletters, your email newsletters. Be sure to tell your neighbors and remind your neighbors that you're there for their overflow lodging. And include all your promotions on social media. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Yeah, right. You have a lot of things on your plate, I know. So, question I have for you is, what are you doing this holiday season to put heads in beds? Do you have any ideas that I can add to this webinar? Because I'd love to hear from you. If you have any questions or things that you want to share with everybody who's on the webinar and ideas that you have that I haven't mentioned, I would love to hear them. So please feel free to write your questions, your comments into the question box, and I'll be happy to answer any of them.
Marty. Looks like we had a couple people who had some technical difficulties, which I apologize for. I guess a couple people said that the slide wasn't advancing. So Marty, I was thinking afterwards we could send out just a PDF of the presentation in addition to the actual recording. So
I can't hear you, Candace.
Oh no, you can't? Oh, sorry about that.
No,
My microphone was up. Okay. So we had some people that wrote in saying they were having some technical difficulties and couldn't see all the slides. So I was thinking afterwards, when we send out the recording, we can also send out a PDF of the presentation.
Sure. Definitely.
And then I haven't seen any other questions come through, so if anyone has any, please feel free, or comments, feel free to write them in the questions box and we will answer them.
I'd love to hear any ideas that other people have that for holiday events and promotions that they're doing too.
Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Peter McLaren said that the slides looked fine on his end. Thanks, Marty. Some neat ideas. Thanks, Peter. Christina Murray asked, what has been your best and worst promotion?
Ooh, so two things. One, I would like to mention to Peter McLaren that I was happy to see that he was also included. The West Hill House was also included on Yankee Magazine's best holiday B&Bs in New England. So there you go, Peter. Maybe you can do what you do during the holidays also. So best and worst promotions. I assume you're talking about holiday promotions.
Yes.
Let me think. I love, well, I guess because I'm personally involved with a lot of these end-to-end tours, I would probably like to say that end-to-end cookie tour that I've been involved with for 21 years now in the Mount Washington Valley has been one that's been incredibly successful. successful from a number of points of view. Everybody loves cookies during the holidays. So you can be sure that cookies are going to be something that the media will be writing about and that people are going to want to learn more about. Everybody's looking for great recipes. So that event has resulted in articles in Better Homes and Gardens, many local newspapers, New York Times picked it up one year, a lot of Red Book has picked it up, so there's been a lot of great media coverage for that event and the Country Inns in the White Mountains who sponsors it, but also it has really, really helped to raise visibility. Every year, those tickets sell out, 400 tickets, and if they would allow more tickets to be sold, I think they would sell out every year. So I loved that idea. I love any of these inn-to-inn holiday events. I love the idea of what the Napa Inns used to do by teaming up. I don't know if they'll be able to do it this year, but in the past they have teamed up with wineries and restaurants in the area and put on this beautiful movable feast, so to speak, which raises, I don't know, it's something like $100,000 or some incredible amount of money for local nonprofits. So I do love those events. I guess events that haven't worked so well are events that don't get promoted properly. That was why I put the timeline on there. If you wait to the last minute to try and promote something, it's not necessarily going to work. So I've seen a couple packages or events kind of flop because they just didn't have enough time to be promoted.
All right, that is good feedback. Vina Edwards said that the presentation did work after a bit, so thank you, Vina. I'm glad to hear that. But she's asking, should you raise the prices during the holidays or make it a deal, especially if it includes Christmas or New Year's? ?
I think that partly depends on the market that you're in. I don't think that if Christmas or the holidays are a slow time for you, raising your prices is not going to help you put heads in beds. If it's a time that your community is packed and space is at a premium, then you can raise your prices if that's the way you handle pricing. So it really is that's a question that I would say it depends. I guess what I would do is not necessarily raise the prices because this is a time where you really don't where you want. It's a season of goodwill. So I think that you want to do everything that you can to provide goodwill to your guests at that time too.
Awesome. I think that's it. We had one more question about asking if the PDF of the presentation would go out to everyone, and the answer is yes. We'll send it out to everybody who's registered. So look out for that in the next couple days. Hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have the recording and the PDF. So stay tuned. All right. Well, thank you, Marty. This was amazing, as usual. I did want to just note again that we're skipping November for webinars with Marty just because I know it's a busy time getting ready before the holidays and all of that. But we'll pick up early December with another webinar with Marty. So stay tuned on the topic. Look out in your email for that invite. Awesome. Okay, well, everyone have a good rest of your week. Happy Wednesday.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye.
Marty.